Hi, good morning, folks. Today is July 26th, 2024. This is Coffee with Community Services, Alta California Regional Center's weekly service provider meeting. I'm going to go through our agenda and then introductions, and we'll get things started for today. So we're going to be going over the sign of the week. We're going to talk about the DSP stipend, give you an update on that, give you an update on SIRs related to medication errors, updates on Supported Life Conference, the status of our CRDP proposals we're putting forth. We've got our newsletter out. We have some information from the department on the service provider directory and the rate study implementation. So lots of interesting new information to share with folks. From Alta's team, I see from Community Services, I see Dan on and Christine, good morning. And I see Michael and Tom from Community Services, good morning as well. And I see Beverly and our manager Jordan and our manager Helen on. Both Scott's at QA around the Bay today, and Michelle's out for today. Let's see who else we got. We've got Alejandra on. Good morning. And Christy and Janice and Jolana from Community Services. Good morning. And Marty and from Client Services Managers. I see Cindy on. Good morning, Cindy. And Veronica too from Woodland. How you doing, Veronica? Good morning. And Hubert is on. Good morning, Hubert. And Jenna is on. Good morning, Jenna. No, certainly not new to the regional center, but new as a manager here. Some of these folks may know you and some may not. Do you mind just unmuting real quick and just letting folks know what unit you're taking over? And congratulations.
Sure. Good morning. So I took over the Rancho South Central unit. I'm 1 week in. So.
And you've been around a little while with our regional
A
center,
little
correct?
while. Yeah, did case
And you were
management
in
for
Vicky's
26
unit.
years.
You were in Vicky's unit forever, right? If I remember
Yes,
correctly.
forever. Yeah, I was with Vicky for 24 years and Kanisha for a couple years, and now I'm here as manager. So yes, long time.
Awesome. Congratulations and welcome. And so we
Thank
do
you.
this meeting every Friday with all of our service providers, and it's a good opportunity to get updates on things. And you guys get to work with Jenna in a new role here. Let's see.
Yep.
From Community Services, we also have Ethan on and our lead, Jason. Good morning. And Adriana and Shauna as well. And Julie, good morning, Julie Rockfall. And Rhonda is on from Community Services, and my assistant Zach is here too. Good morning. And I saw some other folks pop up. I saw Raven on there. I saw Courtney pop up as well. We're gonna throw it over first to Michael for our sign of the week, and I am going to spotlight him for everyone.
All righty. Hello. Good morning. So the sign of the week, there's 2 words. So the first word is fun and the second word is boring. So the first word being fun, this is how you sign it. Up to your nose. So you're going to start out with your 2 fingers like this, and then put one up to your nose and then down. Fun. But you have to have the facial expressions to show you are having fun. And then the next word is it's a quite easy sign, boring. So you just have your index finger at your nose and you just twist it, and that's boring. Fun and boring. Has your summer been fun or has it been boring? That's the question. So I will just send out a link as well, a link in the chat for those signs. So I want to just discuss a little bit, give a little bit of Deaf Culture 101. I know a lot of people might be curious about deaf individuals and what it's like when we dream. As far as how do we communicate in our dreams, what goes on when we dream. So most commonly in the deaf community, deaf individuals are signing in their dreams. Some do speak in their dreams and understand, some just do they could talk or sign like telepath communication. Some those who have lost hearing later in their life and have spoken, they typically can speak in their dreams as well. So when I dream though, I do sign, talk, And I do, kind of like a telepathic communication, it seems. But for me, with my experiences, as far as dreams goes, sometimes I do see captions. It's kind of odd, but I know dreams just vary, just depends on those your life experiences, and for those individuals who are deaf, whether they could hear or they could talk or they lose their, but so, and that's it for now. And deaf people do not hear in dreams.
Let me ask, does anyone have any questions for Michael? I know, very interesting. Isn't that amazing? Like we don't talk before about what Michael is going to present about. And then every single time I'm always so excited about what he does because it's so interesting to me and it's new information. So thank you, Michael, very much.
Thank you.
All right. Folks, let's see. We have something. What do I see in the chat here? Can Alta Regional post the results of the ISP IFSP survey on the Alta website? I can ask around.
Okay.
About that one. About FSP. I know they presented some of the findings at the board meeting last night. Lori went through them, but I'm not sure exactly what they're planning on doing with posting that information. But cool. All right. And thank you again, Michael. Let's see. Let's go on to the DSP stipend. So many of you should be aware that the DSP stipend has been continued. And so with that, we are actually offering some additional sessions for DSPs to come into our office and be able to actually do the trainings here. And I'm going to try to find, sorry, I thought I had Michelle's flyer handy, but I guess I didn't. Oh, there we go. Alejandra, I think you sent out the flyer, right?
Yes, I did.
For the
I can
workshop?
also put it in here in the chat as well.
I've got
if
it.
you
Yeah,
like.
drop it in the chat and I'm going to share my screen.
Okay.
So let me share my screen so folks can see it. And then thank you very much for dropping that in the chat for folks. So, all right, everyone can see that hopefully okay. Yeah. All right. And so what we are going to be doing is we're going to be hosting some sessions here at the Regional Center on July 31st and on August 29th. And you can see the time blocks that we have in here. We are going to be offering an opportunity within our regional center for your DSPs to come in and receive an opportunity to do the trainings in our office. We'll have staff available there to support folks. Apparently, we had heard from a service provider recently that they were having some staff that were having a challenge getting logged in and being able to do the trainings. Send them over. Let's see if we can get it taken care of over at Alta. Let's see. We have what to bring. We want to make sure people bring their wireless headphones. I don't know that we're going to have those available for everyone. And then make sure that folks have the vendor number along with it. Alejandra, any other announcements that you feel like I should make as it relates to this one?
I know you kind of touched everything. Just make sure to bring the wireless headphones because the connection sometimes it's different for different computers. Yeah.
So any questions about that? We really hope that folks will take advantage of this and invite, well, thank you for putting that in the chat. We really hope folks will take advantage of this. We, as a regional center, have really just been doing a fantastic job as it relates to the DSP stipend. And I have, we've actually gotten some updated numbers from DDS as it relates to it. And I will share my screen with you real quickly so you can see what those look like. Michelle Duchesne normally would be here to, be so proud of let's see. Are you guys seeing the chart here? I hope. Okay, good. So this is through July 20th, and I'm going to make it a little bit larger for folks, hopefully. Let's see. 1 second. A little bit bigger. So this is kind of where we're at right now to give you an idea. This is through July 20th, and you can see we have a really large number of DSPs in our local area that have done this. Again, for context, Inland Regional Center is almost twice as large as we are. When you look at the size of individuals that they serve, look at the number of vendors that they have. Again, North LA Regional Center, much larger than we are. San Diego Regional Center, much larger than we are. So those regional centers that are up there with us, are really much larger regional centers, which to me really speaks to the work that you all have done as service providers to make sure that you get the message out to each of your DSPs and ensure that they can really benefit from this. So we do have some of the other numbers, and even right now, our growth numbers are still really high because we're still having a lot of new providers. I think I was at the SLS vendor forum earlier this week, and certainly some of the folks there had not gotten people, their DSPs involved in this and getting trained. And so we just want to really make sure everyone gets that opportunities. And certainly all new vendors can be part of that too. Any provider can do it. Just make sure that you have your vendor number. And again, they've continued it out for another 3 months here. And so we want to get as much utilization as possible. Can't say enough about all of you service providers that have been making sure that your staff are aware of this. And then thank you, Alejandra, and all the rest of us that are going to be helping support our in-house sessions to do these trainings too. Again, another opportunity for us to support our service providers, because we know not everyone can help out their staff in getting that arranged. So please take advantage of that. All right, I am going to am I going to Jordan for the SIR part of that, or because Scott is at the meeting?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
All right. Good morning, folks. Happy Friday. So I also have Julie Rockfall on, our SIR coordinator today. And so we just wanted to give some friendly reminders, right? Special incident reporting is so important, not only because it's written within the code and we have to comply, right, with the reporting timeframes, but it really helps identify potential risk factors for our clients, right? And how we can mitigate those risk factors in the future. So I'm going to share my screen, John. I put together a few little bullet points here I'm going to share with folks for our reminders. And then I'm also going to show folks where all this information can be found on our website, just as a reminder as well. Okay, so specific to medication errors. Medication errors is one of the biggest SIR reportable events that we see here at our regional center. And over the past several months, we have been getting a lot of follow-up questions from our DDS partners that oversee our SIR transmissions regarding medication errors, right? So we really need our vendors or our service coordinators, if they're filling this out, to complete some detailed information about the medication error. Specifically, what is the name and the dosage of the medication that was missed or that there was an error with? Did the client experience, right, any adverse effects from missing the medication? And then tell us about who you reported it to. Did you consult with the doctor? Did you consult with the pharmacist about the mismed, right? Really to make sure that the client is going to be safe having missed that med or gotten the wrong med, right? Any type of medication error. And then also, what was that doctor's or that pharmacist's recommendation in regards to either starting the new med or any follow-up activities that they would have to have for that medication error? John, I'll pause here for just a second in case anybody has questions specific to medication errors and SIRs. So if anybody has any, just unmute yourself and let us know. I'm not seeing the chat right now because I'm sharing, but we can chat more about it.
Jordan, I have a quick question. So like I'm going to do my, certainly want to get all this information as quickly as possible to the regional center if I'm a service provider. I may not have all of this information in a timely manner in order to transmit it to the regional center to meet my, my timeframes as a service provider. What should I do in situations like that? Just follow up as quickly as possible with the information, or what's your recommendation?
Yes, you always have to submit your SIR in time, right? That is, we have to have that. And then as soon as you have additional information, providing additional information to the SIR desk, the service coordinator, right? Your case management staff, because the service coordinator can also enter some of those details into their follow-up activities, right? That they've consulted with the vendor and the vendor's provided additional information, right? Because an SC should always be contacting a vendor when there has an SIR that's been written to consult with them about that and for our follow-up requirements and our follow-up activities.
And some of the bigger contexts, and some of you that work in, like broader fields recognize that not every medication error is a reportable incident, like nationwide. That's not the way it works. Like our state, we have created like this requirement for medication errors, but and that's one of the things our state's looking at as well. And that's one of the reasons why they added these additional categories, so that they could really see what are the types of medication errors that are coming in. And so again, that's why as much information as you could provide us up front about it with your 2-day transmission, your initial transmission, we'd really appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, John. Julie, anything else on medication errors? And then I'm going to move to just some other friendly reminders. Okay. Other friendly reminders. Another common error that we see at the SIR desk is vendors submitting a suspected abuse or neglect incident report, but not having completed the mandated report, right? In California, you guys get training about that at your vendor orientation. We have opportunities for additional training, but you have to submit your mandated report. It's the law. So if the SIR desk contacts you and they say, we need your SOCH 341, that's your mandated report, you must submit that at the time of the SIR, because you should have already completed your mandated report as you're completing your SIR, right? Because you have some suspicion of alleged abuse or neglect. So that must be submitted with your SIR. It's extremely important. DDS has lots of questions about suspected abuse and neglect, as you can imagine. Right? Big risk factor for our clients. So it's imperative that that's submitted timely and accurately. Another common thing that is questioned is that we will sometimes see individuals not identify if the conservator has been notified, right? That's under the parties that you've notified, like CCL, Ombudsman, APS, law enforcement, whatever the entities are required, right? You always have to inform the conservator as well if it's a conserved individual. So please make sure to check that box, and please make sure you're notifying conservators. In general, if the SIR desk responds to your SIR with questions or any indication that your SIR is complete, or there's information missing, it's very, very important that you respond to those as soon as you humanly possible, right? We would want you to respond within the same day, because we need to ensure that your SIR is transmitted to DDS timely, right? And if we submit it with missing information, DDS is going to come back and they're going to ask for that missing information. So please make sure you're responding to the SIR desk within the same day. And also, you will see that for training opportunities, we are going to CC your community services specialist. So if you have missing information, or we see trends that you're submitting SIRs that are for suspected abuse or neglect, and there's no mandated report attached, we are going to get your community services specialist involved so that they can reach out, right? And they can provide you some technical assistance, make sure that you're understanding the process, or if you need any additional training or support, or you have questions. So you will see that communication with your community services specialist as well. Those are the biggest reminders. Let me now just show you guys. So if you need to get any SIR information, we have the whole training booklet, we have the forms. What you would do is this is our main page, right? You're going to head to the menu. You're going to go to the service provider section, and you're going to see right here that there's a nice little blue box, bluish greenish, for your SIR forms, right? And if you click on that, you're going to have your incident report. You're going to have broken down instructions for how to complete an SIR, how to actually fill out the form. There's the shared information report. If there's a client who's passed away, there's a specific SIR form for that, right? We call it the death report. So all of these resources are here for you. And then right here at the bottom, it's the whole training booklet that Julie Rockfall goes over with vendors and new staff when they are onboarded. And this information is also shared in our vendor orientation learning management system. So please, I can put this location in the chat so that people have quick access to where those SIR forms are on our website. Put that in there. And then John, Julie, if I missed anything or anything else about that, you just let me know.
No, that was great.
Okay.
The question always comes up from providers, so I will just say it right now. We are working on a portal where you can upload, where you can just enter your SIRs into a portal that comes to us. It has been a little bit delayed. We're still working on it. We recognize that will make it a lot easier on providers, certainly make it a lot easier on us, but just letting folks know that that's still in the process right now. We're working on it so that you can do, kind of like your electronic upload rather than filling out a paper form, which is a little antiquated for 2024. With that being said, thank you very much, Jordan. Appreciate that, and we'll continue to update you all as we get guidance from the department about special incident reporting. I want to throw it over to Gary now. I think, Gary, I'm going to make you a co-host in case you want to share your screen, okay? Just in case.
All right, that sounds good. Hello, everybody. This is Gary from All My Own Community Services, and I want to tell you about a really fun event we're going to be doing in our community next week. And let me share my screen. We worked with one of our, we focus mainly on employment, and one of our business partners, Ace Miller's Hardware, is doing a disability awareness lunch. So Jessica, who's a wonderful manager and a wonderful partner, and we have a few of our clients that are working over there, is doing an event. This is going to be on July 31st. Let me see if I can open this, make this a little better for you guys to see. And there we go. So what we're going to do is it's going to be on July 31st from 12 to 1 p.m. And there's going to be a lunch in honor of disability awareness. There's going to be food and there's going to be fun. I'm going to be there. Community services is going to be there. Some of our wonderful people are going to be there. And we're going to have some fun little, gifts to give, some on my own swag and some good stuff. And it'll just be a really fun event. Jessica is hosting this in her store. I hope you guys can come out. You can RSVP to her at millersaceistheplace.com. It's a great event. It'll be fun. There's going to be food there. The weather is going to be better next week, from what I understand. It is an indoor event, but it might be nice to get out of your office and come by and say hi to us. So we really look forward to it, and we hope that you guys can come out and see it. Please go ahead and email her if you think you can make that.
Okay, so all of you community services specialists, so you guys are looking for someplace to go next Wednesday, noon-ish. That's the spot. Gary, can we drop that into the chat, the flyer, possibly?
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you very much for sharing that. I appreciate that. The more we can promote these community events where we have awareness for individuals with developmental disabilities, where we can partner with our local businesses and things like that. We're all about that stuff. So thank you for bringing that to us today.
Yeah, and they're a great business partner. So those, when you're working in the employment field, when you come across somebody like Jessica and her team, they're just really good to network and get to know them. It's not really a job fair, so to speak, but it's just kind of an event. So it'll be a lot of fun. And I'll drop that in the chat.
All right. Excellent. Thank you very much. It is during our DSP stipend training workshop that we're having, Alejandro. So we're going to have to take a break from there and then hop over to go over to Ace Hardware a little bit. But we want to make sure we RSVP, right, Gary? So anyone that's planning on heading over so they know. Okay. Excellent. Okay. I would like to just share a few more things here that I want to go over. So first, I would share that we had the pleasure of hosting, thank you for putting that in the chat there. We had the pleasure of hosting some students from South Korea that, all right, you guys see this picture okay? Looks like a bunch of students there. And so you can see Michelle Johnson and Jennifer Bloom and Reva, our client advocate, myself and Lori. We all had an opportunity, Dr. Cho from our board of directors all had an opportunity to hang out with some students that had written a grant to be able to come from South Korea from their university. This is their teacher. These are undergraduate students in special education. And this is their teacher that brought them over for the tour in the US. And from time to time, we get, opportunities to do these types of tours. And in this case, not only did we have an opportunity to, come to our office, but we also had an opportunity, which we really love to do, which is to go over and go visit our service providers as well. And so in this case, we had an opportunity in the balmy 104-degree weather out at Meristem in Carmichael to go do a tour for folks. And people really enjoyed it. They had an opportunity. Eric and Shay gave us a tour, and I just kind of wanted to highlight this guy right here because you never know how impactful these things are that we do. But this guy right here is the one that wrote the grant, and he wrote a grant so that his classmates could all come to the US and learn more about developmental disability services and bring that back to their country. But one of the things that we learned from Dr. Cho was what really impressed him was just the regional center system itself, which, the Land-Lerman Act does not exist in South Korea. It doesn't exist in all the states in the United States. And so one thing I guess that he is interested in is, seeing ways in which they can replicate what we have with regional centers here in California, in South Korea as well, to be able to really provide those services and supports at a local level to individuals with developmental disabilities. So to us, I don't know, it's like one of the favorite things that I've done in quite some time. Aleja and I were out there. Aleja is also working on vendoring them for social recreation. So she came out on the tour out at Meristem as well. So again, we appreciate being able to go visit our service providers, but also being able to hopefully, inspire some folks to try to expand disability services, worldwide. We've certainly had visitors from Japan. We've had visitors from multiple different countries come to Alta to kind of get a feel for both the regional centers and our service providers. But again, it was pretty impressive. You saw some of the fruits and vegetables there out at Meristem, but the garden is doing very well out at Meristem. And so they really enjoyed, and they were staying at an Airbnb. So they were going to cook up the vegetables that night that they were able to pick out at Meristem. They got to go visit the dorms and everything. So again, it was a very fun trip for everyone. And we certainly enjoyed having Meristem host us over there. All right. And next up, I want to share about some upcoming events before I get into the rate study stuff. So we've got now things coming together about the Supported Life Conference. So you guys seeing the Supported Life Conference brochure here? Yeah. Okay. So 38th Supported Life Conference is coming up. The speakers are going to be Willie Duncan, president of Sierra College. And if you want to, you guys hear a lot about our Sierra College partnership here. You guys read about it in our newsletter. It's going to be the keynote for the Supported Life Conference as well. Additionally, we have Cody Clark, who's a professional magician and a self-advocate from Louisville, that's going to be presenting. Joe Xavier, the director of the Department of Rehab, which I think we learned is changing to Disability Works California. And then Diva Johnson, who is the Associate Executive Director at Tri-Counties Regional Center. She'll be presenting about the HCBS final rule and some of the animation series that they've put together related to that at Tri-Counties Regional Center. Always encourage folks to participate, encourage you as service providers to attend, encourage clients to attend. I will be doing a session. I'm trying to see who all from our regional center is doing sessions. So let's see, lots of familiar names on here, service providers of ours. We have, let's see, try to second page. Oh gosh, not even David Lopez is on here. So it looks like it's just me, I think, right? Michelle, they didn't get you on anything? Michelle Johnson? I guess not this year. You're lucky. All right. So I'm doing regional center efforts to promote housing security. That'll be on Friday morning. And so hope folks will be interested in hearing all about that. I gave a little preview of the presentation last night at our board meeting, which is a similar presentation that I gave to the legislative staffers a few weeks ago. So again, hoping folks will participate in the Supported Life Conference. It's a great opportunity to be able to get exposure to a lot of the up-to-date statewide activities that are happening and to really understand where we are at a kind of like an advocacy and policy level as well. So I see, Tony Anderson has multiple sessions that he'll be presenting on behalf of ARCA. The Department of Developmental Services has multiple sessions that it looks like they're presenting, to include about HCBS and the self-determination program. So again, just want to encourage folks to participate in the Supported Life Conference if they can, and attend any of the sessions. Any questions about that? I'll see if I can, between now and the end of the meeting, I'll try to drop the flyer in the chat for the Supported Life Conference as well. I guess, Jordan, we just kind of have a general update as far as CRDP goes, right? We know that, I guess we can update folks about the deadlines, right?
Yeah, we absolutely can. So thank you for those who were able to participate last Friday in our fiscal year 2024-2025 public stakeholder meeting to share the results of our community resource development plan survey. I know that's a mouthload. So we had that survey. We had about 45 folks join, maybe around 50 around the end. It's always great to see folks. So once we solicit, we share the survey results with our public, right? We need to give the public time to send any feedback to us that they have, hold that stakeholder meeting to really hear from folks. And so what we are currently doing now, right, is taking that stakeholder information. We are formally in the process of developing our community resource development plan that we will propose to DDS, and we will determine exactly which projects we're going to be requesting startup funds for. So we have to submit that report to DDS by by September 3rd. And which means that we have to have it posted on the transparency website by August 20th, because the public gets 2 weeks to respond to any comment about our proposed plan to DDS. So here at Coffee next week, I'll keep you guys posted as we get things added to the transparency website. I did let the public know last Friday that we will share the PowerPoint presentation regarding the survey results on our transparency website. I apologize. I had not had a chance to do that yet this week. So I'm gonna connect with our training department to get that PowerPoint posted hopefully later this afternoon or Monday at the very latest. So it's always exciting time to be looking at the data from our community and really, assessing the needs of our clients and families so that we can pitch projects that are meaningful and fulfill the unmet needs of our clients and families. So thank you for those who participated, and we'll keep you posted.
And to clarify, so we are going to be, and we could probably do it by like in the next week or so. So we have to post our priorities. However, we don't post like what we are actually putting on the plan. We put down what our regional center priorities are, and then you guys will have an opportunity. Many of you are familiar with what the high requested items are: affordable housing, more day programming options, certainly are a lot of the community feedback that we've received. At our regional center, we are looking at promoting at least 2, if not more, multifamily housing projects to the department this year. We have good news that, oh, look at that. Everyone's got the brochures for Supported Life in there. I forgot that I think Adriana is the specialist for the Supported Life Conference. So we've got that information in the chat there. But again, as it relates to the CRDP, we're gonna get that information posted onto our website. If you do have any feedback that you'd like to give us, and then September 3rd is when we're going to put the final request into the department, and then we'll see how quickly we get our responses back, and hopefully we'll get some good startup funding to get some needed services up off the ground for our local community. All right, I am now going to jump over to, I'm going to share my screen real quickly. So we had an opportunity. We wanted to make sure that we had some fuller information as it related to the rate study and what the budget was going to look like before we put out this most recent newsletter. And so the newsletter is done. Our newsletters are available by going onto our website. You can type Alta Connections. If you're on our social media, you should be able to find it there. Again, these are all translated into different languages, which was actually kind of cool because when we had the students here from South Korea, they had very limited like language skills, like in English, like they could certainly understand, but it was really hard for them to communicate in English. But we were able to actually pull up our Korean language newsletters, and it helped them kind of see some of the activities that go on at our regional center. And so for this session, we have, I don't know if she's our most famous artist, but one of our most famous artists at the regional center that is featured here, Bita. Very common to see her at our micro enterprise fairs, etc. And our message from Lori here as well. She got into the highlights for the trailer bill language, which is, the requirement for the development of the master plan for developmental services, the implementation of the final phase of the rate study in this January, the allowance for remote IPP, IFSP meetings if the individual has been seen in person in the last 12 months for IPPs and 6 months for IFSPs, using statistical practices to more efficiently complete provider audits, elimination of the family cost participation in annual family program fees, changing the timing of assessments for children who are provisionally eligible, and updating social rec statutes to include a requirement for identification of a regional center contact to DDS and training for some staff. We had an opportunity last night at our board meeting. Lori does a meeting our mission section and invites people in, and we had Tiffany, our service coordinator, and her manager Laurel, along with a family that came last night and talked about their experiences receiving regional center services for their daughter, and talking about the benefit that they saw from the social recreation services that she'd been receiving. And again, I know it has been a challenge getting a lot of these social recreation activities up off the ground, but for many of our clients, it has been so beneficial to them. And being able to hear it directly from the family about the benefits of it was pretty impactful last night. And also, just how much they appreciated their service coordinator is always a wonderful thing to hear from our clients and family members. All right, so again, Lori's got her messages here where she talks about a number of our different activities. And then we also have our rally out at the state capitol, the May Day rally. And you can see Lori out here and Jackie Armstrong from our board of directors out doing that support. Last night at our board meeting, Garrett mentioned from CLO that they felt like the Capital Coalition's work in advocacy was very important and impactful when it came to, the rate study. We were looking at the rate study maybe being a whole nother year out. The department kind of split, or the state split the difference and did the rate study implementation in January. And again, I just can't say enough and commend you all enough that participated in the advocacy as it related to the rate study implementation. Certainly impacts all of you guys. So just wanted to continue to acknowledge that. I know it's a lot of extra things, and we as a regional center definitely want to support you in those activities too. Shamir and Thalia got together and put this page of different outreach activities together, which I think is just awesome. You can see a number of these different things. Some of you guys know Mina from the We Embrace. Certainly recommend any of her activities that they put out together. But again, we've got a number of different places where you can find us out in the community, and really appreciate our staff for getting those pictures so that we can share our activities with you guys. Jordan talked about this previously. We had the Being Michelle premiere, which we all really enjoyed participating in. Michael had an opportunity to participate in the development of the Being Michelle event itself as part of the planning team. I just saw a very nice, Michael, if you get a chance, on Lori Benalis' desk is a very nice note of thanks from the California Policy Center for Intellectual and Developmental Disabilities for your support and Jordan's support in getting this event up off the ground. So again, thank you very much for that. And I think that there are others that are really interested in doing this as well, like having a premiere. I heard that they held one down in Hollywood that was very successful as well. I learned from Westside Regional Center. Additionally, we have an article in here about our Deaf and Hard of Hearing Vendor Forum, which again, I think was a fantastic opportunity for you as service providers to come in and hear directly from us at the regional center about how to implement more services for individuals that are deaf and hard of hearing into your agencies. And again, that's what we are really looking for. We would like you to come to us so that we can support you, so that you can hire more deaf individuals at your agencies, and also be able to serve more individuals that are deaf and hard of hearing within your agencies as well. So again, we seek to be a resource for you all as it relates to that. I will announce many of you have been working with Melinda Kimball. Melinda has left the agency actually, and we posted the position. So we are hiring right now. Michael is going to have a lot of work on his shoulders, helping out kind of in this area probably for the next couple months. But we are going to be bringing in another person to help support the activities of expanding the services and supports for our deaf and hard of hearing communities. So if you look on our website right now, you'll see that that job is posted. And if you know anyone that may be interested in doing that, and I will say, especially if you're familiar with an individual that is deaf that may be looking at a position in a community services department, that's something that we are certainly very interested in at our regional center. So please don't hesitate to share that job posting on our website. And you guys all recognize the importance with which we place this at our regional center. So additionally, we do profiles of our staff. And so Michelle Matsumoto is our speech pathologist. And so you can read a profile about her on here. Additionally, there's a discussion about our support for the Community for Health and Independence, which is a Dr. Lou Vismara project that was brought to us. And so this is information about the public meetings that we attended with our Disability Housing Alliance in support of the Community for Health and Independence that they are seeking to build between the city of Folsom and El Dorado County. Micro enterprise fairs, again, one of our favorite things to hold at our regional center is micro enterprise fairs. And you can learn about micro enterprise fairs by clicking right here and learn more about micro enterprises. But it's a wide variety of different types of things that our clients sell. Some of it is art, some of it is, small businesses that they have. And we want to provide a space for all of these types of activities. Oh, look at Jamil right there. Jamil is like another one that is at every single one of these and is very, very happy to share her artwork and try to get it sold here with us. Then we have our DSP Collaborative. Again, that continues to be rolling on. We held our job fair up in Yuba City. Again, you probably recognize some of these companies that are there. My understanding was that we got some really good support from the folks up there at the Sutter County One Stop, and we're going to continue to be looking at doing more and more of these job fairs. The pictures from the Pride Parade. So you can, I think I shared some of these right after it happened, but you can see all of us out there. Let's see, we got a few community services. You can see Jaslyn right there on the side right there. John Decker in shorts. That's not something you see very often. So there you go. We had quite a time. We really enjoy that. We'll be out there every single year. Again, we were just saying about Sierra College, how you can learn all about it at the upcoming Supported Life Conference. We got a very nice letter of thanks from the Life Project as we finished up our 3-year, our employment grant with Sierra College. Sierra College, the good news that since we wrote this, Sierra College has their activities have been picked up by the Placer County Workforce Board, I believe. And so we're going to be able to have ongoing support for our activities at Sierra College through the work being done there. And it's not just stopping at the end of the employment grant. So we're very happy about that. Additionally, Carly and I have been invited to present at a conference in August where we will be sharing the MOU that we've developed with Sierra College, the vendorization that we set up with Sierra College for the LIFE program. Some of you are familiar. We have our independent living program that we've done on campus there as well. So we'll be presenting and sharing with folks about that. Again, Beta, who is a fantastic artist, and you can get her information right here for how to get her artwork and purchase it. So we always are interested. I think, Shauna, do we already know who our next person is? I think we do, right? For our next spotlight.
We actually have a few in the works, so
Ooh,
it's going to
we
be
have a
your
few,
choice.
so we've got some lined up. All right, well, then we won't ask for any volunteers right now, but if someone did have someone, could they email you, Shauna, if they might want to think about getting it?
Definitely. I'll put my email address in the chat.
Excellent. Thank you very much. So that's our newsletter. Hopefully folks will get an opportunity to take a look at it, check out all the pictures. I want to go now over to DDS's website, and I want to get into the information about the statewide provider directory. Sorry, we have 74 folks on, about 15, 20 of you are regional center staff or so. For the service providers that are on, in the chat, I know I heard in our vendor meeting yesterday that some had already filled out the service provider directory. In the chat, anyone willing to just let me know if you've done it already or if you've gotten contacted? Just kind of trying to figure out if people are being contacted, how widely our vendors have been contacted already about the service provider directory. And I'm going to share my screen so you know what I'm talking about. All right, so this is the statewide service provider directory. On DDS's website, you can go to the very front page. And on the very front page right here, we have the information. So this has been updated, and I want to go over some of the updates real quick. So why do we have a service provider directory? We have it because it's going to help advocates and families identify service provider options in their community. Additionally, for service providers, they will earn a possible one-time payment from the Quality Incentive Program for complete submissions. Provider directory data will be used to inform the 10% change in rate setting. So first, what I want to share is our understanding is that as we go to calculate your final rate increases for the month of January, we're going to be receiving soon, we don't know when, but soon, a new set of benchmark rates. Basically, the state of California is going to be recalculating. So we had in 2017, 2018, we had the rate study that came out during that period of time, and that's where the service providers and the state, they all worked with to figure out, you know, what the rate study numbers should be. Then in 2021, we had an update of those numbers, and now they're going to be updating them again for the final version that's going to come out in January. And so what we are waiting for is the final worksheets or the worksheets from the department so that we can enter in your rates. There's a place in there where we can indicate whether or not you've completed the quality incentive, and then that's what will bring you up to the 100% of the benchmark. Otherwise, you will be at 90%. As I said to service providers yesterday or the day before in one of our meetings, like that could be a rate drop for you. Like for some people, if you don't get the full 100%, that becomes an issue. And so all that being said, we're gonna hopefully make sure, let's see, I'm gonna jump in the chat. I see a few people. Some people have not been contacted, and did complete it. Oh, good job, Hillary. So we do have at least one provider. Let's see, I saw you on camera for a second, Hillary. I thought a moment ago. Would you mind sharing was it easy? Was it hard to fill it out? Anyone that has done it? If you're willing to share with us. It looks relatively simple. It's just right. It seems like it's right here.
This is Andrea. I filled it out and just got a call from DDS while we're in this meeting. So it was pretty.
What did they say on the call?
That they had a few other questions to update the survey because it asks if you have multiple vendor numbers, and if you say yes, there's no place to put it. So they're probably calling to verify that. It took like 2 seconds to do the. I did
the linkages then. Oh, okay. So that's how they're going to figure out the linkages between the vendor numbers, is they might reach out to you guys directly then?
That's what it seems like, because there was nowhere to put any vendor numbers in. It just said, do you have more than 5? And I said yes. And then that was the.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Stop sharing. So, I mean, I don't know. That didn't seem too onerous then, Andrea?
No, it was really simple. I did it like Monday. I thought I'd just log on and do it. It was, I mean, I don't quite even remember how. It was very quick. It was just sort of my information and how many numbers. So it was that page and maybe one more.
Cool. Yeah, I see Jonathan from Community Anchor said that he got his done too. So this is great. If this turns out to be relatively easy for you guys to be able to do, and it's easy for the department to get the information over to us, then us, you know, checking a box saying that your 10% is good to go will make it a lot easier on us. Time frame wise, I believe, you know, we want to get these all done as early as possible because, you know, come October, we need to know that information because we got to do a lot of calculations between October and December to make sure that we can make sure we get all the rate study increase information in there. So as I said, and I just want to reiterate some of the things that need to be done still, like we know the department is completing the directive that explains overall how we're going to be switching from where we're at to what we're going to be doing in January. We've had an opportunity to review, like the Association of Regional Center Agencies group, which I'm the co-chair of the Community Services Directors group. People have had opportunities to review the correspondence, and it's kind of a back and forth with the department right now. We met with Iqbal this morning because Iqbal is also a reviewer on it, and we had a discussion about it. There's a couple areas of clarification we're still seeking as it relates to the hold harmless for folks. If Pride fills one out, does transportation need to fill out a separate one? That's an interesting one. Maybe start with one with Pride, if like Medi fills it out or something, and then maybe from there, let them call you, and then because you guys are going to have a number of vendor numbers, like think about, you know, a number of you guys have several of them, and I know that's one of the things that they want to do with this directory is connect you guys. They want to be able to connect, you know, the different vendorizations, because some of the vendorizations are similar companies, but they use different names of the companies as well, and I think that's another thing they're kind of looking at. But I'm just glad that we've got a little bit of time for you all to kind of get this figured out. It's not like we've got to get it all done by, you know, August 1st or something like that. So we've got a little bit more time. Updated information submission deadline. So August 15th, that's when they would like to get the information in by. Please respond back as quickly as possible for any, if they have reached out to you, respond back to their phone calls. So for the, again, we'll get that information. We'll be able to calculate it. As to the hold harmless, we're trying to kind of figure out some information about some of our providers that might be moving from one rate methodology to a different rate methodology. And for any of you transportation providers that are on here, those of you that have vehicle service hours, that's one of the things that we are trying to figure out is when January comes and everyone is supposed to be moving over to mileage, how do we calculate the hold harmless for our transportation providers that have vehicle service hours? Because it's a change in rate methodology. So we're trying to get clarification on that. Additionally, we know that the department is going to be releasing individual directives for each of your different service codes, and we're still waiting for those to come out as well. So again, when I spoke with Aaron Christian recently, and he's the deputy director overseeing the whole rate study thing, he said the main thing is make sure providers are getting in there and getting in the service provider directory and able to get their 10%. So that's the push that we're going to do every single week. I'm hoping at some point they're able to give us some type of listing that lets us know which of our providers have done it and haven't done it in case we need to help, you know, do some direct connections. But it seems like the Protiviti folks, the people that are the vendors that are supporting DDS, are really doing a lot of the outreach. I'm sure they're the ones that are doing the phone calls, etc. Any questions about that, about the rate study implementation? I do I'll just share my screen just so folks, if you're a newer vendor, if you're a newer staff person here, and you're not exactly sure about what the rate reform is and what we're doing, DDS has a button right here on the front page of their website that outlines a lot of the information. My hope is that sometime for each of you service providers, that sometime between now and, you know, October, November, that we have some of these meetings for you all again, where we actually have DDS do webinars, give opportunities for you guys to ask questions about the implementation, and also ask questions about the directives that are defining the services, because again, that's something that might impact you. You might be moving from one service code to a different service code. This information again is on DDS's website. In here, I like to just show folks, you can find the information about Alta's rate models by clicking in here and going to the complete rate models. And you can do a search in here and it'll give you that information of where you can find it if you're a service provider. The rate implementation timeline has been updated. And so commencing January 1st of 2025, the department shall implement the fully funded rate models using two payment components, a base rate equaling 90% of the rate model and a quality incentive payment equaling up to 10% of the rate model to be implemented through the quality incentive program described in subdivision E. I like how someone just copied and pasted that without subdivision E being there, but whatever. So just want to clarify for folks that that is the timeframes, January 1. Any questions about rate study or service provider directory? All right. I will let folks know that we do have some upcoming events at Alta. I believe it's August 4th, right, Michelle? We've got I'm going to open up our calendar, but I believe we have our next community meeting. And then, oh, I don't know if Jennifer's on here, but are we doing we're doing a presentation on a social rec presentation, I think. Let me pull up our calendar real quick for folks.
August 7th, John, is our next community meeting. And yes,
August
we're doing
7th.
a presentation on social recreation.
All right, I'm going to share my screen real quick so you all can see our calendar here. All right. So a few different things that are going on. We've got the Disability Pride Resource Fair that's happening on July 31st. as you've heard about, we have the DSP stipend workshops that we're going to be hosting here. And then you can see the disability awareness lunch that we heard Gary talk a little bit about earlier. And that information is right there too. Again, going into the calendar itself, lots of upcoming events here on our calendar. Let's see, September. Oh, do we not have our community meeting on here? Michelle, can you talk to Herman and make sure we get that on our events calendar, please? Or upcoming. But we do have the Adult Day and Employment Vendor Forum coming up. That's not until. Oh, sorry. Wait a sec. I went right past that. Community meetings. There it is, August 7th. I went right past it, Michelle. There we go. Sorry, community meetings. There it is. And here's this information right here. So I'm hoping folks are interested in this and logging in. Put it in the chat for everyone. We had pretty good attendance. I think we had like 50 people maybe that showed up last time, Michelle, right? And again, this is just an opportunity to hear from all of our executive management team. I think Shamir typically will do a presentation and want to encourage folks to attend our community meetings. We certainly connect with you all as service providers at our Coffee with Community Services, but we do want to provide an opportunity for our entire community to hear more about what's going on. So please encourage folks. August 7th and November 6th are two upcoming ones. All right. And with that, I will throw it back over. I'll see if Michelle, do we have any other things that we want to announce? And I'll see with Michelle or Helen or Jordan if we missed anything.
I don't think we missed anything on my end. Ms. Johnson?
I would say stay tuned for some promotions about our supported decision-making. We've got our dates scheduled for clients and families. It's going to be September 17th. And then for the community, it'll be October 15th. So that's posted on our website, and we're going to begin promoting that soon. And the flyers are already translated into multiple languages. So stay tuned.
Thank you very much. I certainly got a crash course in supported decision-making when I was working with people at the developmental centers. We had, a number of individuals that were not conserved, looking at trying to move people out of institutional settings. And that was actually what really sold me on supported decision-making and the effectiveness and the ability to be able to support individuals with developmental disabilities without necessarily taking their rights away from them. And so I want to encourage people to participate in this. I know that there's been a lot of work in developing the materials for it. And so again, just hoping folks will take some time to participate in that as well. That certainly philosophically aligns very well with our regional center and where we're at in supporting individuals to make choices for themselves, but also ensuring that we have health and safety for individuals too. So all right. And Helen and Jordan, I saw that we had nothing else from you all. So it's 12 o'clock. I hope everyone has a great rest of their day. Thank you very much for joining us. And I'm so pleased to hear that the service provider directory is an easy thing for folks to do. So we'll talk to folks next week. Have a great weekend, folks. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.